Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to welcome you to the Lenny Robbins YouTube channel. Know your politics. Let's come together to create a better understanding by taking the time out to stop, look, and listen to what politicians are saying so we can put ourselves in a better position to absolutely watch what they do. Now, I must say this because I notice I'm now looking at some of the response that I'm getting back in my channel, some of the comments I'm getting back. And there's a lot of negatives coming back, but I want people to understand that I'm not a person who's afraid of critique. Especially the negative ones. A lot of people don't want to see negative critiques in their columns, so I'm not afraid of it. I'm glad because it strengthens me. You understand? When I listen to a lot of the and read a lot of the negative comments, what it does is it only pushes me to recalibrate my material and recalibrate how I present my material and my story out there. But I also want to point out, I welcome all of the negative critiques coming in. I welcome it, ladies and gentlemen, because you're doing me a great favor. Don't think you're not. You may think you're insulting me in any way, but you're not. You're doing me a great favor. Because one thing I can say, I know that a lot of you people weren't around when I just started this program. And I made a comment that initially in my first posting that I'm going to try to be very different with this. I'm not getting into the detail of politics as to I could give economical statistic and all of these things and performance statistic and all of these things, but just to give some common sense pointers to people because we want to reach the average person on the ground in Jamaica. You understand? I'm not speaking to no businessman. I'm not speaking to no highfalutin professor at UWI coming out of UWI or any students in their economic class or whatever. You understand? Our political science class and all of these things. We're speaking to average people, Jamaican, because these are the people who carry the brunt of the burden. You understand? These are the persons who bear the brunt of the socio-economic hills of the country. So I want to keep it at that level, and just to all of my negative critique, keep it coming because it's very helpful, very, very helpful. Keep it coming. You understand? But I will always keep my thing at my level because I want to reach to the ground people, the people on the ground. I'm not here to pretend to brag and boast about what I know about politics and who know more or compete with who know more than who doesn't know as much and all of these things. That's not my thing. I'm not interested in projecting who know more or who doesn't know more. But as long as I can get people to open their eyes and realize that it's important to listen to what your politician is saying so you can actually be in a position to watch what they do. You understand? And understand your political environment to an extent. That's fine with me. As long as that is happening, I'm pretty good with that. I'm pretty good. Now, I've never said anything about the debate so far. I've not commented on it. But this just pushes me to release this video ahead of something that I have already made. Another one that I've already made. And I'm hastening to do this and get this out there because I watched listened to a YouTube presentation with Mark Golding on the Win Lonesome platform. Now we all know Win Lonesome is a PMP to the core. It's a comment to the core. And in that question and answer presentation or whatever it may be called, with the leader of the People's National Party, Mark Golding, Win Lonesome made a comment. And he made a comment about Andrew Holness, the leader of the JLP party. Mark, ladies and gentlemen, I've made this clear on my part. I'm not here for PMP nor JLP. The right is right, wrong is wrong. So what he says, where he's coming from with his argument about the JLP, I can't deny that, and I can't tell him that he's wrong to say that. You have a right to your opinion, sir, and I have a right to mine. But you said that the Prime Minister should not, Mr. Wayne Lonesome. They call you ugly. I don't know why they call you ugly, but maybe it's for a good reason. I'm not getting into that. But you said something about the Prime Minister that man should not be on the ballot. That man should be removed from the ballot because he's corrupt, he's a thief, and he's a liar. Now hear me now, lonesome. I'm going to bring this to your attention, and I'd like anybody out there who listen to this, contest this with me. Challenge me on this. Tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. Even you yourself, lonesome. On your own platform, tell me that I don't know one hell what I'm talking about. It is not yet 2 years that the diaspora organization spread its wings. Canada, Britain, and seeking to go to other countries. Now you're based out in Canada. And when that move occurred, tell the people exactly what you did. You elected yourself. You select yourself to be the sole head of the Canadian leg of the Jamaican diaspora movement. One moment. Sorry about that. You selected yourself, Wayne Lumsum, to be the sole head cook and buckle washer of the Canadian Diaspora Organization. Remember, you selected and elected yourself to be the sole head, the sole leader of the Caribbean, of the Canadian diaspora movements. And let me remind you, sir, when you were objected to, when that move was objected to on your part, you're talking about corruption and liar and dishonest. What was your reaction? How did you react to that rejection? How many bad words did you curse? How many people you cursed out? How many people you threatened? Wayne Lonesome? How many people you threatened and cursed out because you were rejected? Because your quest to lead to head up the Canadian Diaspora Organization was rejected. And now you have the temerity and the guts to call another person a thief and a liar and should not be on the ballot. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, I don't get into the political aspect of it and the politics side of it. But I'd like to ask one thing from all of you people and present one thing, because this is my perspective on listening to all of these discussions and everything that's coming out of the budget. What was presented to the nation by Favour Williams and the response from Julian Robinson, the opposition spokesperson of finance, the Prime Minister himself, Mark Golding himself, and other ministers who are, and even from analysts and all of these things. I think one of the persons that I really heard make some real sense in terms of real economic facts is Ralston Hyman. I heard him, I listened to him, and I think he's making some real hardcore factual-ish points about the economy and the mistake the government is making and what needs to be done. Now, like I've said before in many of my other presentations, I'm not an economist by any stretch of the imagination. Let's just put it that way. I'm not an economist by any at all. I only did 1 semester macro and 1 semester minor. So that's not enough to make me an economist. I know that. You understand? So I'm not going to paint myself as Mr. Know-all here. But after listening to all this presentation, I'd like to ask Jamaica, and I'd like to ask all the leaders, even the Prime Minister himself, the Favour Williams, the opposition spokesman Julian Robinson, Mark Golding, all of you guys come forward and tell the nation. Please tell the nation. Coming out of your presentation, read the budget. What kind of economic insularity was provided in your speech to the Jamaican people? You tell us how this economy was insulated by anything you guys said. I presented to the nation. And everybody's jumping up. Favour Williams this, Andrew Holness this, Mark Golding that. Julian Robinson this, and all of these things. And everybody avoid the reality of the situation. Everybody is avoiding the reality of the situation. I've said it before, and I'm going to repeat this thing because I don't care who want to say that I'm repeating myself, because many things need to be repeated to people for people to wake up. Because like you tell your child at home once, so don't do that. Not realizing that they need more than one advice. They need to be told many times over, reminded every day. Now, coming out of this debate, I'm more convinced that the PMP cannot manage the country as a government. The JLP by itself cannot manage the country either as a government. And how long it's going to take us as a people to recognize and realize this. We can all talk what we want to talk about, PMP this and PMP that. That has been happening from 1962. All of that crap has been happening from 1962. And if the PMP was good enough for Jamaica, the JLP was good enough for Jamaica, or was better for Jamaica than the PMP, or the PMP better than the JLP, ask yourself the question, why are we now in the situation that we are in economically and socio-economically? Why are we still in this position that we are today? Why? Everybody comes to the fore with this promise of hope, this promise proposal. Everything is in the pipeline. And as people continue to sop it up, continue to blindly support what is being said. And I notice a lot of people who comment, like I said, and welcome all critique, and people are saying, well, you need to present your facts. I don't need to present facts, my friend. I welcome your comment, but I'm telling you where I'm coming from. I'm not going into the meat of politics yet. I'm still remaining and I still will remain on the fringe of politics, and just start to hope that what I'm saying and what I'm trying to get across, my message that I'm trying to get across, is for Jamaican people to wake up, help to educate yourself as far as politics is concerned. Get to know something about your political environment. Do not become a useful idiot as a voter, just moving from party cycle to election cycle to election cycle. It doesn't make sense. We have to be more. We have to be better than this. We are the people who suffers. And like I said, I'm inviting any one of the members from the JLP side or the PMP side who are spoken, and any economists out there, independent. Come and tell us. Tell the nation what economic insularity was created from these budget speech. Nothing. And none can be created. So always all these parties and speakers bragging and boasting and throwing it out there that they're better for us. Listen, I've asked people to turn out to the election and vote. Yeah, it is important to vote. But don't vote because you figure more or less you're a PMP or a JLP. That's not good enough to vote. That's not good enough to vote anymore. We have to be stronger than. These are all things I'm repeating myself about, These are issues and things that I've raised before in other postings. Some of you may be wondering why I'm repeating myself, but it is necessary to repeat yourself. Because once people's minds are politically once you're brainwashed politically, it's not easy to reverse that, and step outside of that, and to step outside of that box, and to begin to think on your own 2 feet. with just a one-time advice. No. So I'm taking the long way home. I'm going the long way around this. So I'm prepared to repeat myself over and over and over to people. It is important. It is important. Know your politics. Take the time out to do it. It is our own existence, not the politicians. Like I said, I don't know what's come out. I don't know if this is a budget. It's a real budget debate. But I call it just a proposal, promise proposal. That's why I labeled the whole thing as. I didn't listen to nothing. No one who has spoken so far, I did not listen to their entire speech or anything. Because it's enough just by the reaction of people. Because people on the JLP side is saying the JP did well. People on the PMP side is saying the PMP did well. And if I were to make a decision by that, I would say they're dead eat. It's a dead eat. Now, if the result coming out is a dead eat, then where do we stand? Who is better than who? Who is really better than who? If it's a dead eat, who is better than who? And no one can put any insularity in the budget. Any economic insularity in the budget. Because nobody knows what the next 3 months is going to be. None of them. The next 6 months, the next year, the next 2 years. Nobody knows. Even if they can maintain that 60% of debt to GDP ratio. Nobody knows if that can even be maintained. That's an illusion to be pursued. Hopefully attained. You understand? Well, I don't know when. Probably in another 3-4 months, I'm expecting to hear something from the IFC, the newly IFC that has commission that has taken over from Auditor Generals, and is now responsible for giving account of how the public purse has been spent by government. And also, I'd like to hear from Professor Anthony Clayton of UWI, the Professor of Caribbean Sustainability Development. I'd like to hear what he think about this book, this budget, and what his opinion so far on this whole Caribbean Sustainability Development. Where are we? Is there anything we need to do? Is there anything we're not doing? Because all our budget presenters can speak as much as they want to speak, present all figures they want to present, and all of these things to the nation and to the country and the world. But what I'd like all of us to recognize is that Jamaica's economy is not a standalone economy. And just to think of it, last year alone, the cost of our import was far greater than the cost of our export. And what we get back from export, what we import, is more. In other words, let me rephrase that. It costs us more to import goods to the country than what we get from selling goods, exporting to the country. It costs us more to import goods. You understand? So meanwhile we are importing foodstuff for the table, what we're selling and what we get back from that export cannot and did not match what we are paying for all our export. So we having a trade deficit last year, maybe long before that. And our main trading partner is the US. Even still is. I don't think we have broken that. It still is. And now that economy is sliding into a recession, what's going to happen to us? Because the way this government has done in the past couple of months, from January 20th to, this is 2 months, roughly 60 days they're in power. And already the LT economy that they inherited is in shambles. Ladies and gentlemen, I just had to add that part of it, and I just want to say to all my critique, negative or what, come with it, brother, because the only thing you're doing to me is to help to strengthen me, make my whole thing better, understand, and start to get an understanding of what people are thinking and what people are hoping to hear. So I just need to calibrate my message out there. But for those of you who did not understand from the beginning, my message is not to tell you, say PMP did this and the PMP statistic is this and JLP statistic. That's not my understanding right now. That's not my purpose and my aim right now. My aim right now is to do everything I can to reach Jamaican people. And the only way you can reach the people to encourage them to start to take a close look at politics, you gotta drop and gotta give them a few little pointers that threatens their existence, so people can recognize, so, this is true, and I need to do some research on this myself. That's how I'm trying to reach out to people. So I welcome the negative comment, brother, because if we're all talking about the betterment of Jamaica, then critique, negative or positive, gotta be welcome. And I'm here for all Jamaicans. I'm not here for PMP or JLP. I'm not here for myself. You understand? And finally, before I go, I want to add to it too, that UIC, the new third party out there, you guys need to get more proactive. You guys need to get yourself active and get yourself out there on social media platform, brother. We are more perspective and sharing a lot more perspective with the people. Start to hit the street, man. Talk to people. Get their complaint. Get there. This is your choice. Do some research on it. What would they do if there's a third party arising? How would they vote? What would take them? What would convince them to vote for a third party? If you sit back in office every day and talk and don't get out there in a real way across the country, no one is going to really take you serious when you come to the fore. If you're waiting on a whole cartload of money to do that, it's not going to happen right now. A lot of people have to volunteer to move this UIC to the front if you real guys are serious. Because right now with the PMP and the JLP are doing, if you notice, the politics, the content, the nature, the culture of politics is changing. It's getting worse. And the division between JLP and PMP is getting wider. And so it is getting wider and frustrating with voters. So if you notice the voter population, a lot of people may still be on the registration. But the turnout is getting smaller and smaller by election. It is getting smaller. This is an opening for you, UIC. This is an opening for you to now start getting and talk to people. You don't have to contest in a seat. You don't have to put up no one to contest at the parochial level or at the general level. You don't need to contest anything right now if you don't have the strength and the money to do so. I noticed you contested a couple of seats in the last parochial election last year, March. And the party performed poorly. But at least look at your number. A couple of people voted for you. If it's even 10. How do I increase this 10 to thousands? That's the answer. That's the question you need to answer. And you can't do that from just, 10 people voted for me. That's it. Next time, I hope more vote for us. You can't hope. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the Lennie Robbins YouTube channel. Just want to say, let us come together and get to know our politics. Because we have to create a better understanding for each other. And it's important that we take the time out to listen to what our politicians are saying. So honestly, in a real way, we can watch what they do. And by watching what they do, we know what they don't do. We know that they won't what they won't do. And we know what they have done. Let us not build our hope on the promise. And for those of us who have the wherewithal and the understanding, look at the wider economy. Look at the wider economy. World economy. Caribbean economy. You understand? North America economy. Look at what is happening. World economy. Just take a look at the economy. What is happening? Even the US is sinking while China is rising. Even the US is sinking while Africa is rising. Ladies and gentlemen, take note of what is happening around you. Welcome. Lennie Robbins YouTube. Over and out. See you next time.